cat in the bathroom yesterday. I went to bed, I was like, after doing that very dance to get the clothes off, and into bed as quietly as possible, they said, Mom. I was like,
help me.
Nah, she wasn't in the bathroom when I just brushed my teeth. Oh, fuck, she was. She never.
You just hear the toilet flush.
It was awful, and then as soon as the door opened,
Why would you leave me in there?
That's cat for, I'd leave that 5 minutes.
Maybe we should start now.
Yeah, there's our intro.
Woo! No.
Matt's animal cruelty hour. And welcome to episode 8 of Splitting Pixels. We'll start off this week with what we've been playing, because I know Matt's been playing some stuff.
I have. I play games. I play games now.
You play 10 video games.
Yeah, well, it's been a while.
You've been making me exceptionally jealous talking about your Project Cars setup.
Project Cars is great, and yeah, I've got a steering wheel for it, so that's sexy.
Is Project Cars just a racing sim? What
yeah.
Okay.
It's a racing sim that covers, like, most racing sims will cover like a specific kind of racing,
like F1
Formula
or whatever.
1,
yeah.
Whereas this one starts with like go-karts.
Oh, I see.
And goes through all the different kinds of racing that you get, and works up to, well, F1's probably, or what's it called?
Formula A.
Formula A.
They've got, because obviously
they don't have the licensing.
Get that, so it's Formula A, B and C. So I presume Formula B is GP2 cars, which is the step down from Formula 1, and that's I've not tried a Formula 1 car. I've only gone to the B setup because you don't need the most power, it's fun, you get downforce.
What about the tracks? Do they have all the tracks that you would expect?
I've not gone through all the tracks. The first track I went to was my favourite Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, and raced that quite a lot. Actually, I started in an Ariel Atom because that's my favourite road legal car. It's not technically a road car.
Yeah. It's like a super powered go-kart.
Yes, it's got a Honda V8 in a little exoskeleton car, so it's got more power to weight ratio than a Bugatti Veyron.
Wow.
And it melts. It's the one, if anyone's watched Top Gear, it's the episode where Jeremy Clarkson almost melted his face. It's got such acceleration that his cheeks just go crazy. Yeah. So I started in that, and then I moved up to a Formula B. And the difference in downforce and so therefore grip levels, I could take corners in such a different style. It was great to have that comparison.
I mean, you're using a racing wheel?
Yeah. I've had a
this is the bit I'm jealous of.
Yeah, Logitech G25, which is only superseded by the next version of that, G27 it's called. It's just an incredible steering wheel. It's not cheap.
Does it have pedals as well?
3 pedals, including a clutch, and an extra little unit, which is a 6-speed gearbox, which can turn into a manual up and down shifter with a dial.
I was going to say, because Formula 1 is
you've also got
8 flappy
you've
paddles
also got
as
flappy
well.
paddles on the steering wheel.
That's handy.
And I believe it's got 2 motors holding the steering wheel. Normally there's only one. Mm-hmm. It's just a really nice high-end one. I think it was 180 when I bought it second hand.
Wow.
So it tells you a lot of what it was.
It was the thing you told me about how when you bent the steering on your car,
the suspension broke, yeah.
And the controller actually remembers what angle to be broken at.
Yeah.
So like your steering wheel pulls to the left.
Oh yeah,
just
it mirrors
like
what's
that.
on screen, and I was like, I don't know, 25, 26 degrees to the left, just, oh god, trying to hold it together.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And again, these 2 motors holding the steering wheel, when you go over a rumble strip, you're really...
Yeah.
It's surprising that you can't keep the steering wheel
haptic
still.
feedback. That's why I went, or one of the reasons I went with an Xbox One, is that they have haptic feedback through the triggers.
Yeah.
So racing games are really cool for that, because you feel it when you accelerate on the right trigger, and then when you slam on the brakes, you can feel it on the left trigger. It's pretty cool.
Does it have Oculus support, Project Cars?
I imagine
because that would
it
be
will.
like a complete immersion.
Well, Project Cars has been going for years. This development, I remember going round to my friend's house a long time ago and him showing me the damage states of the various cars, because he I don't know if it was a Kickstarter, it can't have been a Kickstarter, but anyway, he was an early investor in the game. And
damage states just being like, this is a pristine car, and then this is a car.
Levels of damage on a vehicle, the engine cover at first flying off, but then really taking it to the extremes and smashing up a car and just looking at the gorgeous modelling. And they've done that with everything. Even the rain is stunning. The raindrops blow off your visor if you're going really fast, and the transition from day to night is stunning. There's loads of YouTube videos out there of people playing it for a long time, because as I say, it's been in development for so long. But that came out, I think, the 19th of May.
Yeah, that was a little while ago.
So I got that.
I'll say a little while, a week ago. Because there's also Drive Club, but that turned out to be a bit of a flop.
That's the PlayStation.
Yeah, it's the PlayStation exclusive one, but it launched, its matchmaking was completely broken. So
was that like the road trip thing?
That was the Crew, maybe, that you were thinking of?
Maybe, yeah.
That was the one where you could go across America, but you could also join up with your friends.
Yeah, that's
you had
a
posse kind of thing.
And was Drive Club the one that the PlayStation president said was an embarrassment?
Yeah.
I think the UK PlayStation president called it an embarrassment.
It was meant to be a launch game, and then it just kept getting pushed back.
Wow.
And then when it deployed, it was broken. And then they promised that they would have a free kind of diet Drive Club version for PSN members, for subscribers.
Fair enough.
And that hasn't come out either.
Oh.
So people are a bit annoyed about it. But when you play it, it's gorgeous. It actually looks better than bits of Project Cars.
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
Matt's face is turned.
I don't know. It's when you get to this level of graphics, it's hard to see a difference. You watch videos, comparison videos of Aletto Corsa, which I was tempted to buy, Project Cars, and something else, and then an original video of somebody driving around Monza, let's say. And I don't know the difference between the consoles anymore.
I'm seeing that a lot
crazy.
with Witcher 3 things that have been out recently, because obviously there's the big uproar that the graphics have been downgraded, and there was this video look at the difference between the console and PC, and I'm like, well, the PC looks a bit darker, but I don't know.
So they've been downgraded from the ultimate PC spec down to...
from what they previewed in 2013, people, eagle-eyed fans are claiming that it's been downgraded.
There was a thing about a wall. You see Geralt walking past a wall on a town. And in the old video, it's got a crack in the wall. And in the new one, the crack is much smaller and less pronounced. It's come on. But, I have a hard time getting into the mindset of the kind of person... I understand you want games to always be their best. And PC elitists are always going to be, annoyed that some studios have to make concessions so the game will run across lots of different computers.
Didn't CD Projekt Red, the Witcher 3 devs, come out and say, I can't remember if they admitted to it being downgraded, but they basically said, well, we had to do console versions because we had to make money. That is how a business works.
I read a really fascinating interview. It was one of quite a lot of the senior guys at CD Projekt Red that charted the entire story. I'll need to find that for the blog, but tells a really fascinating story of how they started off. Essentially, they bought the rights to make Baldur's Gate in Poland. They bought the rights to translate it, and they didn't they were the ones who were taking over from Pirates, because Pirates were in Poland just selling games at open markets, because it was the Soviet Union at the time. So, well, maybe not Baldur's Gate at the time, but there was a really big pirate market, and copyright wasn't really enforced. So what they were doing is they were right, I tell you what, pirates are so big, because Baldur's Gate is 5 discs, we're going to make a proper professional attempt at this with a book and a cloth map and things like that. And that's how CD Projekt Red really started. Yeah. Taking Western games and porting them for a Polish audience.
I see.
Really?
And into Russian, actually, because Russian was really widely spoken in Poland at the time.
So when was this?
This must have been early 90s.
Wow.
The pictures you see, you see their little car that they used to go to all their business meetings in, and it's a batter, exactly what you think of when you think Soviet Union car. It's not a Lada, I don't think, but it looks like like that kind of car.
Is there a
like,
turret on it?
Battered. No.
There's an AK-47.
I mean, there is a bear on the roof. But yeah, so that was really cool. Just finding out, like, I found out a lot about CD Projekt Red from reading this article. Like, there's not a lot of studios that I can really respect in the same way that I respect CD Projekt Red.
I think they seem like genuine. Like, I mean, I don't know them, obviously, but they seem like really genuinely nice guys who care about the games and they care about their audience. Like, for instance, when they said, we're going to put out 16 free DLCs for all of you. Like, a lot of them were just small DLCs, but it's still the gesture that makes the difference.
What game was that for?
That was for The Witcher 3, so it's going to get 16 essentially patches.
Like, and a lot more, some of them are like skins, but some of them, I think, is there story things?
Well, there's 2 that are going to be paid
DLC.
and
they're the story ones, aren't they?
Yeah. But essentially what they're doing is they're patching after the game releases, which most studios do.
You need to nowadays, yeah.
But EA would normally charge you like $5 for a skin pack, or something like that.
Absolutely.
So this is really cool. But CD Projekt Red are also the guys behind GOG, or Good Old Games.
Oh yeah, of course they are.
Which are it's like so I was telling you about this earlier through the week. It's a little bit like an alternative to Steam. A little bit. They don't have the same range and the same support. But what they do have is DRM-free games, and for those who might not know, DRM is short for Digital Rights Management, and that is essentially ways that the studio can stop you. It's meant to be for anti-piracy, but it also means that they have a greater control over what you can do with their game.
Yeah.
It's why your MP3s won't play on someone else's iPod.
Yeah.
That, for instance.
Yeah, things like that. So, in recent times, EA and Maxis brought out SimCity. I can't remember which one it was.
It's the 2013 one. It was just called SimCity.
Yeah, and the DRM is what broke that game.
Like, you had to play it online, like, which
somebody proved you didn't if they hacked
They
into
modded it, and it was just so stupid because it's a city building game. You wouldn't think that you'd need to be online for it, but then like they released in a patch like maybe a year later. I could be wrong with that, but then you could play offline in that patch. But by that point, everyone was already too annoyed with it, and now we have City Skylines. So.
Yeah. Oh, I know about
But the whole thing with GOG is that you can essentially you can look at games that you played when you were a kid, and you'll never be able to find a box copy of it without looking on eBay and spending a fortune. So now you can download it. Like recently they got all the Star Wars X-Wing and TIE Fighter games. They were the first ones to get that.
I didn't know they were responsible for it.
Yeah, well, not responsible for it, but I think they give a good market for kind of classic PC games. So that was, I think they're the good guys, CD Projekt
And they're always
Red.
quite cheap. They're often cheaper than Steam.
Yeah,
but
quite often.
I've noticed that when looking to buy Witcher 3, but I have Witcher 2 on Steam, so I'm afraid I'm tied into Steam.
I feel very tied into Steam as well, but then
Is
again...
this for achievements?
Yes.
No.
Oh, I knew what your answer was going to be.
And the badges, I can't help it.
I sell the trading card things.
I sell them straight away.
But I like getting like the backgrounds, because when you complete a badge, like you get the badge for your profile. But I like getting the desktop backgrounds and stuff like that with it. I
got rubbish when I actually went out of my way to finish a card collection. I think it was for Rogue Legacy, and I got a little icon to put in my chats of a flaming ball thing, and a really poor stained glass window for Steam. It was rubbish.
You think about what gamers like to show off, though. That is exactly the kind of thing that people like to show off.
I know, and I'm not the typical gamer, I guess.
That's true.
So I was just... although I've not sold any cards I've earned through playing Project Cars yet, just because it's cars, I feel bad. I feel like I'm betraying the game by selling them.
And some of the trading cards themselves are really pretty.
Slips.
And it confuses me because, it kind of goes against the name trading card, but often people collect trading cards, and then they want you to sell them off on Steam. But I think a lot of them are really nice, and I kind of want to. I wish you could display the cards you had or something.
That's cool.
Prison Architect had some kind of funny ones.
Yeah, I liked those.
I remember them. There was one of it was shower time.
Yeah,
and it's just someone getting beaten up.
And it was interesting because obviously Prison Architect, the graphics are so simple. The characters are just a circle for a head and a little triangle for a body. But the trading cards are really detailed art pieces of depicting what was going on in the prison. But yeah, Matt, carry on talking about the games you were playing.
Oh, well,
we got so distracted.
Yeah, no, that was a good side route there. My words are failing me, sorry.
Sure.
Tangent, that's the word, thank you. But Project Cars, yeah, it's been fantastic. I've not played too much. I started a career, which is go-karts to start with, and they're a nightmare. I don't think you can ever simulate them properly. It just doesn't feel right. You travel too fast around corners and stuff. That's a small worry.
If you win, you have to go to Pizza Hut with your dad afterwards. That's...
Pizza Hut Simulator 2015.
I don't understand, what?
Because it's like what you do
you know,
when you
like
go
after you do well at
pizza.
sports, it's like,
I never
Dad.
experienced this. This is not fair.
Well, to be fair, I never went go-karting as a kid.
Well, not did I.
What's Pizza Hut?
Pizza Hut's for winners, Matthew.
That's why I don't know it. No, I can't wait to get to the more later formula. But yeah, it's a really fun game. What else I've been playing? Well, tempted to get The Witcher 3, but then I noticed I have Witcher 2 in my Steam library, and I have not played that, so I have to wait.
This is what I'm doing as well. Like, I have Witcher 2 sitting on my Xbox library, and I'm going to play that first.
Yes.
It was a game with gold.
Yeah, that's why I have it.
And yeah, I've played the first 10, 15 hours of it. It's
of Witcher 2?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I haven't started Witcher 3.
Yeah, we can talk about that when we have Alice back on the podcast.
So it's kind of difficult, really. Like, the combat system is more challenging than you might think. I think it's just kind of complicated because. So.
Can you not set it to easy?
Maybe, but I always feel like that's me giving up.
Quite often with games I'll default to easy just because I like it, unless it's I don't know, there are very few exceptions, but I normally just want to enjoy the game and enjoy the story.
If it's a story game, yeah.
Yeah, but if it's something like Halo where I'm not that fussed about the story, then I'll maybe just do normal or whatever, or challenge myself. I normally default easy.
I played BioShock Infinite on hard, and I regretted it because the story was good, the gameplay was not very good. And because it was difficult, it was frustratingly difficult.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't really having fun, I just wanted to finish the game.
I only found out after over 100 hours in Skyrim that there was a difficulty setting. I had been playing it the whole time.
Skyrim's pretty easy though.
I know, but like that's the thing, I didn't even think of changing the difficulty, and then I was like, oh, I've been playing on Adept this whole time. Go me.
Well, speaking of difficulty, actually, comes to the next game I've been playing. I started playing Dishonored because
I saw you got an achievement in that. I was like,
I was looking through my Steam library trying to play something to talk about rather than Cars, because it's great having the steering wheel for Project Cars, but there's effort plugging everything in. And I just thought I'm going to play a different game, and I thought Witcher 2. Well, I've got to download that. I already had installed Dishonored, so I thought I'd start that because I really wanted a third person running around, jumping, killing person. And then I started Dishonored and realised it's a first-person game.
It's fun though. Did you like it?
Yeah, the mouse sensitivity is way off, and I've turned it down, and it still feels wrong. I don't know what it is.
I've been playing console on it, so yeah.
There's something wrong about that. I'm going to have to fix.
Maybe your controller would be a bit more comfortable.
Maybe, I guess but first-person to me it works with mouse and keyboard.
Fair enough.
But that's super fun. Although. Yeah, difficulty-wise, I died so many times at the start, just making stupid mistakes.
Dishonored has its roots. It's Arcane Studios, who are also owned by Bethesda, who make it, a French studio. But they have their roots in Ironstorm and the guys who made Thief and Thief 2, and I think Thief 3 as well. But that, like the Thief series, after Final Fantasy VII, Thief 2 is my all-time favourite game.
I really wanted to play the Thief series.
I think I have them sitting on my Steam library.
They haven't aged visually very well, but in terms of story and atmosphere, Thief 2 is incredible.
But I've watched a short playthrough of the most recent Thief game, and I'd say if you want to play it, play Dishonored, because it's a better version.
Okay,
like, for those who don't know, Dishonored is like a stealth game, like in a steampunk universe, I guess. I guess it's steampunk.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It looks like old-timey, but there's loads of future tech.
And but then you also get like cool powers and stuff. It's fun.
That's where I'm a little bit struggling. I mean, there's just so many. You're instantly given all this crazy powers.
Blink is the one. Blink is the only one you actually need.
You can get an achievement for just using Blink the whole time.
Yeah.
But you can unlock a cool power later on, where when you kill someone, they can just disappear. So that can improve your stealth if you want to kill people.
Well, I
but
like
if you
stealth, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember if the game will tell you from the outset, but the more people you kill in the game, the different, like the darker the ending you will get.
Yes, it does.
It's
It does.
cool.
At the start of the game, it told me different people will react depending on if I kill or knock unconscious.
Yeah.
So, or kill or not, basically.
Yeah.
So I've tried not to kill people, but then that's because I'm a fan of the Hitman style games, the
Yeah.
sneak games,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you don't get seen. And at the end of, I didn't really pay attention at the start. I did to the story, but then at the end of the first mission, that it was split into missions as such,
Yeah.
and you're graded just like Hitman on if you get through a level without being seen at
Yeah,
all, and all
that's
this
what
kind
I
of thing, or
tried to
zero
go for.
kills.
It is
Yeah.
a shame that you never went back to play Thief, because Thief is the granddaddy of that.
Well, I may have to do that in the future, but so it seems fun. So I like the premise that you're this grand empress bodyguard, and she gets killed in front of you. You get framed, classic story, and then you get a cool mask, and you've got to bring justice to the world.
I had a funny situation when I was playing Dishonored, because I also wanted to go through it, like complete stealth, no kills, all that, and I got the sleep dart, and I was like, oh, it's going to be so useful. And I was in the sewers, and I sleep darted someone, and he fell into the river.
Yeah, instant death. Yeah, that happened to me.
I was like, no. And I was like, I think I rage quit at that point because I couldn't be able to go back and I couldn't be able to replay
kill
it.
him then. That was just unfortunate.
It was he killed himself, to be honest.
Oh, why would you fall asleep in that?
And I was watching like a playthrough of it as well, and someone was standing up on a balcony, and they went to go smother them, just knock them out, but the guy fell off the balcony. But he also had the ability where they dissolve when they die, so he hit the ground and just turned into like a puff of smoke, and he was like, oh.
It does seem fun. My stealthy tactics aren't great right now, but I'll get better.
You'll learn to kind of navigate the environment, and the environment is kind of, I would say the environment is the star of Dishonored.
It does look
like
beautiful.
The story's good, but like later on there is a bit where you will infiltrate like a ball, like a big party.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, that's such a fun mission.
Is this where you get a chance to shoot someone outside?
And a duel. Have you done that?
I watched a flatmate play it.
Right. Okay.
And it does there's great versions of that because you can stop time later on and mess with people.
Yeah.
And there's also a thing you have to not kind of a spoiler, but like you have to kill a lady at the party, but it's different whenever you play the game. So you can watch someone else play it, and they will have a different person to kill than you will. So you have to pay attention to the note you're given.
I think it's
you
three sisters, and they all wear the same mask of different colours.
Yeah, and so like you can watch someone else play it, but if you were to go after who they killed, you might not have the right person.
It's really good fun.
It's fairly complicated. Not complicated, but I like it that it's not so linear. I've got options whether I can help save a guy. I've got to kill the main bad guy, obviously, for this first level.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've got side quests of I can go and talk to an old lady of the streets, and then I've also got an option whether to save someone else's uncle or whatever.
Yeah.
And I really like that. And I guess it'll be down to me to remember what it is and who it is I'm saving. And
yeah.
That'll be fun. I'm excited.
It's one of the great things. Like they give you the choice, and I think choice it's too often used as an arbitrary thing instead of like something that actually affects the gameplay.
Yeah.
What they're really good is at giving you all this exposition in a really natural way. So instead of like reading a book that tells you a bunch of stuff or having a cutscene that tells you a bunch of stuff, you can read a poster and from that extrapolate, okay, this is who these people are.
Yeah.
You know, they want this.
Or you can like overhear a conversation and stuff like that.
Wow.
Like even just guards talking amongst themselves and things.
There is a lot of books to pick up and read. And I did read all about whaling, which was kind of
that's
dark.
actually quite a big part of the game.
Yeah. I mean, from the intro you see the boat going along the water, and your home base is pretty cool as well.
It's a stunning game, but I'm very into it, so I'll report back with more.
I kind of want to like go back and play it now. Like maybe when I get in tonight, I'll sit and play it. I want to get
so who's next? What have you been playing, Sophia?
Well, obviously there's been some Pokemon going on, but like I don't need to talk about Pokemon every episode, but just so listeners know, it's been happening. But then I also played the beta of Smite for consoles.
What's Smite? I've never heard of it.
It's a MOBA, which is multiplayer online battle arena. So it's basically there's just like a map, and you can choose like a character, and in Smite it's all like gods that you play as.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
you're
really
viewing
cool.
it kind of top down.
No, it's third person.
All right, okay.
And so you choose like your god, and there'll be like maybe there'll be range, there'll be melee, they'll have like powers or whatever, and you have like a few different spells or weapons or whatever, and it's not like it's not really similar to a shooter because it's longer time to kills. So it's not like you can just one shot anyone. Like it's like very lengthy
sustained
fights. Yeah, but then there's also the game mode that I was playing is you have minions come out of your base and they basically need to get to the other player's base and just go in. And so you're needing to defend your minions while also taking out the other team's minions.
Okay.
But then the part of the game that I didn't really get into is that there's camps like dotted around the arena where you can go to like get more mana like magic power and like or like attack stuff. And I didn't really get that. I was a bit confused because I was brand new to the game, so I thought, right, I'll just play it. So I went with Neith, the archer. She was just one of the free ones at the beginning of the game, and I was just playing with her, and I had a really fun time. Like it was just interesting, like going in, like very different to just having a gun and shooting. Like I could decide to do like an area spell, or I could take out a line of minions all in one go, or I could go after people. It was fun. It was nice. So
this is a free-to-play game on Xbox?
Yes, well at the moment it's free-to-play on PC anyways, and I was just like, I guess they want to put it on consoles and stuff, and so I'm assuming it will be free-to-play when it's on consoles, but you can buy like skins, or you can buy like a pack of gods. It's not like, and they're not better than any of the free gods, they're just different. Like
that is a MOBA thing.
Does League of Legends not?
Yeah, that's what League does.
I don't play it, but I've been told about it.
How they make their money is through cosmetic changes.
Which is great, a great idea.
So essentially, there was a similar thing with Killer Instinct on the Xbox One when it came out as well. You have like a selection of characters that you can play as, and then I think it's maybe every day or maybe every week. Like there's 3 that will be free, and you can play with them. Just
does it alternate every week?
And then that'll kind of rotate out, and then you get to play with another 3. But if you've got one that you're a really big fan of, you can pay a little bit of money to be able to access them all the time.
I can already tell that if I got really into it, I would want to spend money, because you could be like Medusa or something, which sounds awesome.
Is there names that we would recognise?
Yeah, like there's Zeus and Thor and everything like that. And like, it was lots of fun. Also, disclaimer, I don't normally play MOBA, so I could be talking shit and not know how it works, but this is just the experience I had when I was playing it for a few hours over the weekend, and I thought it was really fun. Yeah.
It's always nice to pick up a game that you don't expect to enjoy or like just have no idea about, and that's an evening. You just spend an evening.
They just randomly emailed me like, "Oh, here's some beta codes. Go play."
Awesome.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure."
Awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of beta and online unexpected games, Splatoon.
Oh, we did play Splatoon.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, so much fun.
I'm a bit jealous.
Yeah, so Splatoon is, I guess you'd call it a shooter. For the
yeah,
Wii U.
Yeah, it is.
But it's just very colourful and fun, and we only played one game mode where you just had to cover the map with as much of your team's paint.
Yeah, it's a paintballing game, but you can't kill the enemies. You don't paint the arena.
Yeah, well, paint is how you score, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
But it's also a myth, because you can turn into a squid when you're in the paint,
and
then you move through your own paint.
Well, you can only walk on your own colour of paint. Like, well, if you walk you can walk on other teams' paint, but you go very slowly, so it's just beneficial for you to be on your own. And you can sometimes get damaged if you're not. I can't.
Well, the thing is, you're barely walking on other teams' paint anyway, because the whole game starts with 4-on-4 arena style, and as soon as you go, you're just painting everything to make it your colour.
Yeah.
And the percentage at the end of the game wins. So if you come face to face with your enemies, you want to kill them so they're not painting.
Yeah.
And they get spawned back at their team base.
And then you can be a squid, like you can, on your own colour of paint, you can turn into a squid, so you swim through the ink, and it can be useful to like get up higher.
That's the kicker. I mean, it would be a boring game if you just ran around painting.
Yeah, because there's a lot of verticality, isn't there?
The maps were really cool. I really liked them.
Yeah, crazy little mazes, and you can find yourself alone and just, I'm going to paint everything my colour. But that's also how you refill your paint.
By swimming?
By being a squid, yeah.
Right, okay.
You've got a finite amount, but it'll recharge while you're swimming.
I mostly played the paint roller, which I guess is like the melee class in Splatoon, and it was awesome because you have such a wide area and you're just running around, rolling all over paint, and you can pretty much one-shot people when you come up close to them.
It's all about timing, isn't it? You like jump out, and then you've got like a splat like a downward attack.
But it means if someone's up high, you can't really paint vertically. So you're like, if someone's up high, that's you gone. Like unless you become a squid and get out of there quickly. But it was also quite good because you could, like Matt was saying, you could go off on your own and just paint your own stuff, and people aren't really paying that much attention to you. And if you want to play it like that, that's fine.
But they will find you.
They find you eventually.
Because we'll see the map changing colour, right?
Yes, the map is displayed on the giant Nintendo ugly controller. That's the real name for it. But I believe I found out a few days later, someone else at work said that you could choose a different spawn location possibly by touching that map.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to do that, and it just kept flinging my squid into the air, so I didn't really understand what was going on. But
well, we must be playing it the same way then. When you get respawned back on your team base, you immediately want to be a squid because you move faster
and fill up your paint. Yeah.
I kept trying to get to the enemy spawn point to paint it all so that they'd be screwed over when they spawned in.
That's cruel. See, that happened to me. It was the other way around. I bet it was you I was playing. Getting messed over. It was ridiculous.
I mean,
really fun game.
If there's one thing you can trust Nintendo to do, is it's to take something like a shooter, something that Nintendo haven't ever really dabbled in, and make it their own, make it fun, make it suitable for children, and just be something unique.
Yeah.
And that is what, sadly, I don't think it's going to be enough to save the Wii U.
I think it might if to be honest, I saw an advert for it in the cinema and I was like, if I didn't know what Splatoon was already, I maybe wouldn't get it. But they're doing another beta, I think, next weekend with like more game modes, and it also has a single player element, which I haven't seen much of. So like, I'm just so excited for it coming out, and it's only like £30, which for games these days is really good.
And it's a new IP. It's a new Nintendo IP, and I think that's something that we need to... We want more of that, to be honest, because at the moment, we wait 3 years between like big Nintendo kind of...
Zeldas and Mario Karts. And
Yeah.
I think it may not be the fastest selling... Well, it certainly won't be the fastest selling Nintendo IP, but the more people that even get a small chance to play it, they'll want to own it.
Yeah.
Which is what I find a lot of Wii U games. I don't have one yet, but I know that's the next console I'm buying because it's just fun.
Yeah, and they're not that expensive these
days.
They're
really not. No.
I don't know. They're like 300.
No, they're not. They're less than 200.
Are they?
Yep.
Yeah,
for a Wii U.
Yep.
With Mario Kart 8, it's 220, I believe. Last time I checked.
That's not bad. They must have had a price cut since I was last considering it.
And like, to be honest, Nintendo ones are never that expensive, anyways. Compared to like their Xbox and PlayStation counterparts, they're usually the cheaper option, but it does mean less games.
And
yes,
less
that's
tech
true.
spec as well.
Yeah, of course. Well, actually, when Wii U launched, it had better tech. Like, it had more games that were 60 FPS and 1080p than the Xbox and PlayStation.
Wow. Well,
like,
that wouldn't be difficult though.
Yes,
they'd struggle.
Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, I know, definitely are 60 FPS.
There's definitely games that are worth... there's definitely games that are worth buying a Wii U for now that they're together.
I had so much fun with the Wii U.
Mario Kart, I played it once with a big group of friends, and that was a great afternoon.
Smash Brothers is really fun.
Smash Brothers is fun. As long as you're playing with people of a kind of similar skill level, you'll probably have a really good time with Smash Brothers as well.
Even if you don't, like, there's just so many characters to choose from. Like, you're always going to find something that you're comfortable with playing. It's not like you're always just going to be stuck, like, not knowing what to do. Like, it's just,
That's true.
I really like the Wii U, and I hope that it gets, like, maybe Splatoon will save it, but I got worried when Nintendo was saying they're announcing a new console, and I'm like, no, I just got the Wii U. I want to enjoy it more.
I didn't know this.
Only in like 2 years. No, in like 2 years' time, they've announced.
Have they
something.
actually announced it?
They hinted that they're working on it, but they want it to come out like soon, probably because the Wii U isn't doing great.
Because they'll start production on their next console as soon as the Wii U is finished. Like production cycles for consoles are enormous.
Yeah.
That fills me with dread, though.
But I think, like, since they've got, Smash Brothers only came out at the end of 2014, and Splatoon coming out, they're probably not going to be putting anything out for at least another 2 years.
Nintendo have something of a habit of releasing great consoles after less popular consoles. I mean, if you look at the Wii following the GameCube. Like the Wii sold incredibly well. Fair enough.
Wii Sports is still the best-selling game.
Yeah, I mean it was bundled, but still.
It also the Wii had started the I don't want to
say.
Sorry,
apart from Tetris. Sorry, carry on.
It was casualization.
Yes, they appeal to such a broad spectrum.
But that's not always a bad thing.
Well, I'm not complaining, but It's never blown me away.
It didn't feel like it was for gamers.
Yeah, like because the stick wasn't comfortable and stuff. Like at least, like the new Wii U gamepad, it's not the best thing in the world, but at least it's more comfortable than just having like a Wii remote.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the Wii U Pro controller. Like I use that quite a lot for Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and stuff, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been playing, Ross?
So last weekend, 2 weekends ago, I had a bit of a kind of Ubisoft weekend, it seems. So I had Rayman Legends and Child of Light sitting in my Games with Gold list to come back to, and I'd also stepped back into Assassin's Creed Unity, after knowing that it had gotten a bunch of patches and it was kind of working better. Unity it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like the recreation of Paris that they've made it's incredible.
I think that's what I'd be most interested in. Just going in and kind of wandering about, just making it completely open world, like, you know.
I mean, it's a period of French history that is really fascinating as well. Like, you don't really have that many revolutions of that nature in Europe. I mean, you've got that, and you've got like the Russians, but like Paris is such an incredible city, and to see it rendered, like I was speaking to you about it, there was one person whose job it was just to create the Notre Dame. Like during the entire production process, they were building one massive and impressive building.
Wow.
It's great to know. I was just going to bring that up in case you didn't, but yeah, it sounds great.
It really makes you appreciate it. But yeah, I just really liked being a pirate, and Black Flag. Like Black Flag was so much fun. I don't know if I could describe Unity as fun. That's the
quite
problem.
A big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Like that is like if I had a game that wasn't fun, like that's it. Like there's nothing that can redeem it.
I think
that.
I'm now so entrenched in the Assassin's Creed story. That's what I find interesting, and it's a nonsense bullshit story. But it ties like I'm a big.
But it's your story, and you love it.
Yeah, but I'm a big history nerd, and you know you get to see Arnold, the main character, kind of caught up with Napoleon and the kind of people that you would associate with the revolution. I actually, not all games cause me to do it, but now when I get like a little codex thing, I will open the codex and read like the little bit of history,
right?
Because it's always given a little bit of flavour text as well. So there's certain characters that I'm really hoping pop up. Like I don't know if you guys will have heard of the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Yes.
No.
He was a British noble who, during the Revolution, would go over to France and smuggle French royals out of prison and take them back to England.
Right.
But he never revealed who he was.
Okay.
I mean, it's based on books by Baroness Orczy. Richard E. Grant did a TV show for the BBC called The Scarlet Pimpernel, and it's a very romantic notion. He marries a French noble as well, and it's a really cool story. And he's a little bit like a kind of 18th century James Bond, because he hides like escape tools and daggers and stuff in the soles of his shoes, and it's just kind of cool. So I'm still kind of secretly hoping that he'll show up at some point, because he's a cool fictional character and he fits in well with that time. I know that you're going to be interested to hear what I have to say about Child of Light, though.
Yeah, that was my favourite game last year.
Yeah. So I've only played maybe the first chapter, you could say. I was saying that I just got the wings.
Yeah.
So it's the overworld itself is like a 2D platformer.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Like I love how it's all watercolour and everything.
Yeah.
Like
this
it's
is
just
the
gorgeous.
part that when I watch videos I adore.
Yeah. Like the way you navigate the environment is a 2D platformer, and it's beautiful. And you've got areas of light and dark, and like being in the dark, you can be attacked and not know it, and then you're at a disadvantage.
Or you can sneak up on enemies and stuff, and then you're at the advantage and stuff. And I really like the little firefly companion you have, because I was reading an interview with the programmer who was behind it all, and she said when they made that character, you can play as that character, and they designed it specifically for like young kids who would maybe want to join in with their parents
Yeah,
or their older
sense.
siblings, because like you can play as the Firefly, but you know you're basically just collecting the orbs of magic and stuff like that, and healing your main character. So it's a really good one for a little kid to just like play with.
Well, I mean, at the moment, at least for the first level, there is a way to always get a surprise attack.
Yeah.
Because the Firefly can stun enemies. So you just stun the enemy and then walk behind them, and then unstun the enemy and then walk into the back of them, and then you immediately surprise attack.
Yeah, so it would be like a really fun co-op game, like with someone who maybe doesn't play games as much, because they could, I don't know, I just think it would be cute.
I do enjoy it, and the combat system itself, it's a kind of classic RPG turn-based system.
And this is where I would struggle.
But it's timed turn-based, interestingly.
Yeah, it's something, I've definitely played games that do it before, but you can interrupt the attacks of the enemy.
Like, you have a bar at the bottom, and I'd say maybe 4/5 of it is just your like waiting time for the attack, which can change based on the speed of your attack. And then there's a casting chunk in the last fifth. And if your attack is faster than someone else, and they're also in that casting chunk, then they will get thrown backwards.
Yeah, so you essentially gain time on them. Like, you can get 2 attacks when they only have 1, that kind of thing.
It sounds complicated, but you get the hang of it because it's all right there.
Got
so
the Magic Roundabout theme tune playing. You said
it is actually like in when you're actually playing it, it is actually pretty basic.
Okay.
It's not as complex as most classic RPGs are. The issues I do have with it, it's all in rhyme.
Yeah.
Like, all of the dialogue is delivered through
I am
rhyme.
really torn about the rhyme because I love it, like, but I also hate it. Like, I love it because I think it's just cute and it fits the style of it. Like, it looks like it's a fairy tale, so
I can
it
get
reads like
with
a fairy
that,
tale. And then there's the character who's not good at rhyming, and they always correct her, and I just think that's really funny. And again, it would appeal to kids because it's just like cute and whimsical.
Yeah, I can
But
definitely
also,
see that.
it really takes me out of it when I'm reading it, and I'm like, okay, I get it.
You're
sure.
talking to someone who, when they read Lord of the Rings for the first time, if they ever saw anything in italics that signalled poetry or singing, they turned the page.
I skipped that as well, yeah.
I really struggle with that, yeah, and I couldn't get a tune to match the words.
And also, like, in the Harry Potter books, whenever like the Sorting Hat would sing, I'd read it and it's fine, but that's why it's so cool listening to the audiobooks, because Stephen Fry would make a tune for it, so that was really enjoyable.
I can see how that would be good fun. So yeah, Child of Light, I still haven't played that much of it. I'm going to persist with it.
You definitely should. Like, you get some really cool characters later on, and it definitely feels more like an RPG once you've got people like in different roles.
Yeah, because at the moment it's just this one small girl.
Yeah.
And her
Firefly.
Yeah. I also played Rayman Legends, which is made in the same engine, in the UBR engine.
Oh yeah.
We've spoken about it before. We spoke about it on episode 1.
I actually played the first chapter of it the other weekend.
I am not really a fan of 2D platformers. I'm not really a fan of platformers, really. This game is fantastic. Like, the mechanics are so solid. Like, everything feels like it has a weight to it. But it's also hilarious. Like, the game is really funny. It reminds me a little bit of Crash Bandicoot.
I can see that.
It's silly, but the gameplay itself is really fun.
I just played like the first sort of chapter the other weekend, and I was kind of tired, so I didn't feel like playing more of it, but it was fun. And I can see, like, I'm a sucker for collectibles, so I was making sure that I was getting all of those little guys.
That game has a lot of them. Legends takes a lot of kind of classic levels and like does them up. You get to play through lots of different environments, and there's always different kind of hazards that you have to deal with.
Like, Rayman Legends looks like how Rayman used to look in my head. Like, I have a lot of fond memories of playing Rayman on the Game Boy Advance, actually.
Okay.
And, you know, that must have looked like shit. I haven't tried it in a while, but, like, it looked like Rayman Legends looks how I imagine it, like, how I remember it to look. So it's fun going back. It's
actually the character design that puts Matt off it.
I was just going to say that, yes. I can't get over the disembodied limbs and things like that. It just... I know that I love 2D platformers, and tight controls are, hard thing to do, and it really makes or breaks a platformer.
Yeah.
and you can tell me that, and I guess I'm going to have to play Rayman, but I don't want to.
Well, the thing
you
is,
must appreciate how iconic that look for him though is. Any character
I've never played the games though. I don't want to.
Any character that is designed now that has disembodied limbs, people will say it's a Rayman thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair enough.
Well,
I don't like it.
I think
that's fair
if
enough
you can play through maybe the first 2 or 3 levels, you'll unlock characters that are not like that.
Oh, so I can not play as him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Within like maybe a couple of levels. And there's one who's like a barbarian princess called Barbara.
Great.
And
that sounds awesome.
It sounds like Susan Strong. Who
and
you
a little bit.
I do love Susan Strong from Adventure Time.
Yeah.
You were telling me about a musical level.
Yes, the musical levels are kind of special, and I think they're pretty rare. I don't know how many there are in the game, but I've only found one. And essentially, what it is you're playing through the game in time with music that's playing in the background.
So it becomes like a rhythm game.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit like Crypt of the Necro Dance.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's the same mechanics.
Yeah, that's cool.
So there's like
I'd be so bad at that. But
so the first one is like the music to Black Betty, but it's being sang by the bad guys from Rayman, so it's kind of silly. But it's definitely Black Betty. Mm-hmm. But there's bits like, when there's like a drum crash, that's when you're like knocking over an enemy or something.
Oh, that's good.
And when there's like a sliding scale, that's when you're sliding down a rope or something. It's fun, and you'll have a hard time not laughing as you play it because it is really good.
It's just weird because it is a really good game, but I just didn't hear much about it when it came out. But I guess people may be kind of sick of Rayman.
It's mostly praised for how good it looks.
Yeah.
I think Rayman was the first game to use the UBR engine.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because I know that the whole UBR engine was essentially like a side project for Ubisoft Montreal between major games.
And I love the games that they put out, like, because I want to hate. Yeah, Valiant Hearts is great, and obviously I love Child of Light, and because I want to hate Ubisoft because they're becoming EA a little bit.
Yeah, no, I can.
But
the
Ubisoft Montreal games are great, and I just want them to make more of them because I love them.
I think they will, because they must be quite cheap.
Yeah, like I think Child of Light at full price is £12. You know, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, they're side projects for people's portfolios, essentially. Oh, okay. But they have really good.
They're often
really good production values.
That's usually when a designer and an artist gets to do their own thing.
Flex.
Exactly.
That's exactly it.
And then you'll ultimately make a better game.
Yep. Because the stakes aren't as big.
Exactly.
Although, of course, Ubisoft is going to kind of still want to keep a tight control on it. Well, of course, yeah, but I mean, they're still gonna want to kind of control what gets out. But
you still have to have like Uplay and stuff, which is a bit annoying. Which is basically how they manage their DRM.
Yeah.
What's Uplay?
It's like Origin. That's the kind of the closest thing.
Like you have to kind of sign into Ubisoft's platform to play the game, which is a bit annoying.
You can get skins and like little bits and bobs through it, but
it's just another thing that you've got to sign up to that
exactly.
nobody wants.
Yeah. But so have you not played Valiant Hearts, Ross?
No, not yet.
Because you like World War II, don't you?
Well, this is World War One.
Yeah, Valiant Hearts is World War One,
and
but
it has a
still
dog.
It does have a dog, but it's just a really lovely game, really.
Yeah.
Even though it's about a sad thing, it's just a little puzzle game, but it's also kind of you're picking up collectibles and like you're learning about the history as well. Like
it doesn't take sides either, does it?
Yeah.
Like there's good Germans and good Brits,
and there's Americans in it as well, and there's things like that, and also about how you're saying when you pick up codex things and you read them, that you can read about the history of what was going on in World War One.
That's pretty cool.
It's just really fun. You would probably like it. Like
I definitely want to get round to it, but at the moment there's so many. So I guess my whole deal at the moment is I have done my bookwork for my course. I do a game design course, and I'm now moving on to the portfolio stuff. So now whenever I have free time in an evening, I want to play games, but I feel guilty.
Yeah.
And I can't, like, I love big RPGs like Skyrim, but I can't relax in that world, like, because I always think, Christ, how long have I that's been 4 hours. That's 4 hours I should have been spending doing something else.
I see what you mean, yeah.
And it makes it very like the whole reason I play video games is to kind of escape for a little bit. Well, that's a big reason behind it. And I can't feel myself getting kind of sucked into this world. So I'm kind of holding off buying anything. until I get my portfolio done.
Well, that's fair enough, because Steam Summer Sale is just around the corner.
Good point, yeah.
No, I don't have a PC that will play anything, so that's going to help a lot. But yeah, this Christmas will hopefully be awesome, because I'll get to catch up with Witcher and Metal Gear and
we can play that at the same time, Witcher 3. I might have finished Witcher 2 by then.
That sounds good.
I'll play it too. Let's do this, because I was saying earlier in the week, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was saying like with a lot of games that I've been playing recently, I'm just catching up on things that I missed while I was at uni, and I was like trying to stay away from games, a bit like what you're doing now with your course.
Yeah.
And so like when I go into an open world RPG or something, I like having people to talk to about it, and so I don't feel like I'll obviously still enjoy it, but like the example I used is Batman Arkham City. When I was playing that, I was kind of just trying to get through it because I wanted to play it, but I feel like if I had someone who was playing it at the same time, I could talk to them about it, and we could share like the things we did, and then I'd go off and do the things that they did, and just
open
share
world
it.
games are really good for that.
Yeah, so I like
you're
having
not
someone
having
to
the
play
same
with.
experience, but a similar one.
Well,
So-
I'm still on the previous game, Arkham Asylum. So
Man, I don't know how you can put that game down. I
just don't have time. I don't just play video games, contrary to what it sounds like.
So yeah, we should all play Witcher together so that we can all talk about it.
Cool.
And
That'll be
then
fun.
we'll be able to talk about it on the podcast by then, because it'll be spoiler zone is fine.
And
because
Alice will
it'll
be
out for
furious
ages.
that she's had to sit here and like, why can't I talk about The Witcher? Well, you have to wait for all of us, Alice.
No, she can talk about The Witcher. I really want to know what her thoughts
Yeah.
are, because I've watched a lot of videos of The Witcher. Well, 3, but they've been long videos, and man alive, that game looks amazing. I've never wanted to own a current game so badly. Well, aside from Project Cars, but that's because I don't have a decent racing game. I've not owned one since Gran Turismo 5 on the PlayStation.
Well, plus, with every year, that game gets more dated. Because with car games specifically, the two major tentpoles of any good car game are how it looks and how it controls.
Handles, yeah.
And with every year, that's going to get improved upon. So,
Well, the handling, no, because you had things like, was it Jeff Crammond's GP4? GP4 definitely was the name of it. It was one of these branded racing
so I'm
games.
guessing early 90s.
I don't actually know. I don't think so. Maybe late 90s or early 2000s.
Okay.
But that has such a strong following that it, up to 10 years after, it's probably still going strong now, but had a great mod user base.
Yeah.
I'll look these links up for the blog because it's phenomenal.
Jeff Crammond, I just can't help but see a fishing game with a name like
Well,
Jeff
that's why
Crammond.
I think the name's wrong, but I'm going to Google it while we're talking. But yeah, so I remember having a mod for that. Well, it was on my laptop, and that laptop now is a decade old. I had this, so it must have been less than a decade ago. But I remember racing the '93 season, I think, but because it had the best handling, so people continued to buy or pirate that game because it was no longer available, and get incredible mods for it. So it just depends. The handling is what it's all about, though.
I suppose, yeah. Cool. Well, we have spoken about games for ages, so
It's been good.
yeah.
We've all had lots to speak about, which is good.
I meant to ask you before we actually started, but you said in our Facebook chat that you've already had the Avengers spoiled for you.
Pretty much, and I'm at the point I used to fucking love superhero movies, and I still do, but I don't feel as excited for them anymore because they come out so often.
Saturation.
It used to be maybe once every 2 years you'd get a superhero movie, and it might not have even been a good one that you cared about.
That's true.
So when Avengers 1 came out, I was stoked. I couldn't wait, and then this one's coming out, and I'm like, well, I don't know, I just watched that other superhero do that thing, and a Marvel movie about one of the Avengers comes out every 6 months, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I was just a bit like, oh, I'll get to it whenever. And now people have just started spoiling little bits of it a little bit at a time, and now I'm like, well, I will get to it, but I'm not excited.
It's just that you were literally you're the only one of the four of us that have it.
If you want to talk about it, go for it.
We'll try and stay vague, and I guess this is your spoiler warning as well, just for the next 5 minutes or so. Probably not even.
Probably not even. No, I don't know what else to say. I enjoyed it.
Well, my major after watching it, my major question was, do you guys think that trailers show too much now?
Yes, I even said this in a previous episode. I was saying, or was it a previous episode, or was it to Alice face to face? Because she spoiled something for me.
Okay.
And I was like...
About Avengers?
Yes, and I was like, thank you, Alice. I didn't know that. In fact, if we've already given a spoiler warning, I'll just say it. About, like, Hulk and Black Widow getting together. She was like, it was in the trailer. And I was like, I didn't watch the trailer because I wanted to watch it without the spoilers.
I didn't get that from the trailer. I just saw it as he's less of the maniac Hulk.
Again, I didn't watch the trailer, so I don't know. Maybe I should watch it now and I can just fill in the pieces.
I think
for the
it's
movie.
just a hand-to-hand moment.
Yeah.
You know, like Spock and Kirk. But I didn't necessarily see that as, because I know in the comics there's times where Banner's more in control than the Hulk.
Yeah.
Or times where he's not, obviously. So I just assumed it was like, he's coming to his senses. I even saw the Saturday Night Live parody of the Scarlett Johansson did.
The Black Widow rom-com.
Yes!
That was so
Which
good.
I thought it was really funny, but incredibly...
Kind of painfully
Sexist?
accurate.
No! Well, yes, sexist, but I didn't think it was quite as bad a representation of her in this movie.
No,
I
think
it was as bad as people let on.
Like, yeah, because...
How dare a girl be in a love scenario?
I can see both sides of it, because the script does kind of paint her as needy, kind of. Like, you know, so basically she wants to run away with Banner.
Yeah.
And Banner is racked with guilt because he's like, what kind of life can I give you?
It's a cool, complicated story of emotion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, she is the only one who can kind of calm him and save him.
Which sounds to me like a beneficial relationship.
Exactly, and it sounds like they work together.
Yeah.
So I can see both sides of it, but
also one of the reasons I didn't want to go see the Avengers straight away is because of all the stuff about Jeremy Renner being a total asshole about Black Widow.
Him and Chris Evans, yeah.
He basically called her a slut, and then everyone was like, whoa, you can't say that. And then he basically went, sorry, not sorry, but she is a slut. Like, he was basically saying that she just flirts with everyone and plays with everyone's emotions. So, and he was like, well, if I did that, I'd be a slut. And it's like, stop using that word. Stop describing her as a slut.
She's an undercover agent, and she uses her certain prodigious beauty to her advantage at times. It's exactly what you would do if you were a super agent. I'd be screwed in that department. But I mean, sorry,
you would be in trouble.
Really poorly in that department.
Okay.
Oh God. But yeah, no, it's the knife edge you've got to walk if you've got a female character.
If you've got a female character,
okay, yeah, true.
But they've expanded by one.
Yeah. Well, I just find it harsh, because Josh Whedon, that's his name. He left Twitter to go and write, and everybody assumed it was because of there was a big deal made. I think I was watching a Mark Howard video about it where he explains a writer is leaving Twitter to go and write a story rather than to listen to all of the nonsense of Twitter. Yeah,
I don't think when it comes to writers who are not afraid of giving a woman the spotlight, it's Joss Whedon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just
Buffy.
It. Nobody cares that he's done all of this before, and that Buffy has changed the game when it comes to female leads or just female characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what I guess it's the same as cinema. You're only as good as your last project.
I think the issue that he's probably this is just my speculation, but I think the issue that Joss Whedon's going to be facing is Marvel and Disney telling him, but male leads sell
That's
better.
That's another thing, like Disney
that,
put out merchandise, a toy, and again, I haven't seen the film, but I know enough about it. Like, there's a scene with Black Widow on her motorbike and stuff, and there's a toy about that scene that Black Widow isn't in.
What?
They replaced it with Captain America, I believe. I'll put the link in the blog.
He famously does have a motorcycle.
But no, it's her scene that the toy is of, and they took her. And she's not in any of the merch.
To be fair, the one when she's on the motorbike, Captain America is in that as well.
Yeah, but she's not in it at all.
Right.
And also Mark Ruffalo, who plays Bruce Banner, he even tweeted Disney, Marvel, I want to have merch that my daughters can play with and have a woman that they can look up to, and you don't have any Black Widow merch.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, so they're not.
I've mentioned it before. I don't know why she's dressed like a Tron character though. I'm not complaining.
I could tell you why. I wouldn't be proud of myself.
Yeah, it's just she's got little LEDs over her suit.
That sounds cool.
No, I think right. Why does Hawkeye not have his big purple crazy comic outfit? What are you going to dress Black Widow as? She's just got to be a stealthy spy. I guess you've got the
But
black,
it's not stealthy.
like,
That's
ninja.
my issue.
She's a robot ninja lady from the future, maybe.
Except not a robot. Or from the future. She's a lady.
yeah, shit. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, so yeah, getting back to the film as a whole, like, I did enjoy it, but I think, like, so, for me, the best scene was the one that they really, really marketed in the trailers, which is the Hulk against Iron Man.
They definitely overdid that in the trailers.
Because in the comic books, whenever they face down, it's always incredible. Because obviously, they're two polar opposites in terms of how they approach a fight. Tony Stark assesses everything. He's got all the information he needs and he's prepared. Whereas the Hulk is quite literally just running on instinct and breaks things. And it was really cool to see how they face each other. But nothing is taking down the Hulk. Nothing. Like, he's like,
well, what they have to resort to in the movie, which is a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
I want to know. Like, I don't care about spoilers at this point.
He collapses a building on the Hulk. It's
Fucking
not
hell.
It's not finished.
Yeah,
So
like, you see him do like a little assessment and he's like, there's no one in this building.
Yeah.
Let's bring it down.
Yeah. He just punches him and then takes down the entire structure.
There's some amazing...
And then he still wakes up.
Yeah, well, in the comic books, right, and I don't know how comic book physics will relate to the movie physics, but in some of the comic books, the Hulk literally holds up a mountain to save people. It's...
Well, he's the only other guy. They do this in the movie where they play with the fact that no one can lift up Thor's hammer. I believe Hulk is the... I'm not ruining anything in this. I'm not going to say other cool parts of that.
Yeah.
I think the Hulk in the comic books is the only other guy that can lift up the hammer. I'm
know.
sure he's the only other person that can lift Thor's hammer.
I saw someone post, I think it was a tweet, and they were saying that they wanted there to be like a Stan Lee cameo where he's like a janitor or something, and he just picks up the hammer and cleans underneath it and puts it back down. I can't tell if comic book fans would be really angry or really happy about that.
I think
it would
be happy.
It might be quite split. There might be the people who are like, no, he's not Thor, or maybe he is Thor.
I think you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with Stan Lee. It's like the Audi advert.
Everyone loves Stan.
Yeah.
The Audi advert filmed by Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Is incredible, and it's just about Stan Lee.
The Stan Lee cameo in this one is a little bit on the nose, but it's still pretty good.
They're getting like progressively more silly, the Stan Lee cameos.
I think my favourite one is actually in the Spider-Man film.
The first,
when he's the librarian with the headphones on.
Yes, I love
and
that.
you see Doc Connors throw Spider-Man through a wall, like the whole place like explodes.
Yeah,
basically.
you're listening to the audio of what he's listening to,
Yeah.
so it's just this silent fight scene that he's doing his
Yeah.
thing.
That was brilliant. I really
love
liked that.
I think someone's made a compilation of like all the Stan Lee cameos. Wouldn't it be amazing if they had made them all like when you piece them together it was like one story or something? But I think that's a bit too much.
Yeah, that's a little
Considering he's in Guardians of the Galaxy and on Earth, that would be tricky, but not impossible.
What is he in Guardians of the Galaxy again?
Remember when Rocket's like looking up at the creepy guy?
Yes. Talking to a young lady.
Yeah. Cool. So Avengers.
I should say before we move on from that, I thought Ultron was really good.
James Spader's Ultron. Yeah, he gave him a lot of personality. I don't think he was quite cold enough though.
That's true, but I kind of liked it. Was more character than anything else. He had some.
He was a little bit like Tony Stark,
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, he's built from part of that UI. You know, it's the whole UI thing. So yeah, that was really cool.
And maybe I went into the movie with a bit. Well, like I do with every movie, I want to be entertained. I don't go in with a negative thought. That's maybe why I don't have an issue with, such an issue with Scarlet Widow stuff.
Black.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. Though.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't even. Yeah, Scarlet Widow, Black Johansson. That doesn't work.
I guess Black Witch. I don't know. Because Scarlet.
Anyway,
yeah.
I guess that's why I don't have an issue with stuff like that. Is because I want to be entertained. But I was still surprised by how good how well Ultron worked. Because he will have been, obviously all CGI. You don't get puppets of that, and it was really well done.
Well, when you consider that with the first Avengers, they had an entire block of movies to build Loki up.
Yeah.
You know, to be fair, Loki is an amazing villain. I mean, you look at the pantheon of villains see, Alice is going to be kicking herself, she's not here. In the pantheon of Marvel villains, Loki, I don't think, is one of the best ones. But they did such a good job of building him as a villain.
They did.
That when he was the bad guy in the Avengers, he just nailed it. Like,
yeah.
There were probably people rooting for Loki.
Like Alice.
Yeah.
No, he is awesome. He's a really good character. That's the thing, though. How do you... I forget who was saying this. They've shot themselves in the foot, though. You've made such a great bad guy. In fact, I think it was Ian who guested on the podcast a long time ago.
The Thanos has a big pair of shoes to fill.
Exactly. Every bad guy has a big pair of shoes to fill, and they keep on... They don't even have more than one movie to fill those shoes. Mm-hmm. So they've backed themselves into a corner, have Marvel.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 might explore the Thanos relationship a bit more.
They have to.
Cause
I guess he was quite a big role in the first one.
Yes, but he's still so hidden away. You don't really get that vibe you get from Loki. He's just a returning bad guy so far.
Yeah. I'll be excited to see, like, I think that's what they're building towards, them all in one movie
converging
against Thanos. Kind of has to be, but I'm worried about diminishing returns. Like, if it turns out that having a little bit of every hero is going to make it lose focus. Like, you're going to need a really good director to pull that all together, and a really good writer. But yeah, we're quickly running out of time. So the last one
Mad Max.
The last one I want to mention was Mad Max.
Fantastic.
So
have you guys seen it?
No, I really want to. It's getting amazing reviews everywhere. It's being touted as the best action movie of the last decade.
What about you, Matt?
I have not seen it. I'm getting excitingly, I'm getting one of these monthly cards.
Oh, the Cineworld cards.
Cool.
So
they are.
I think we're doing that tomorrow. So I will have seen it by then.
I would definitely recommend Mad Max. Like, I am someone like...
You have seen it?
Yes, I have.
Awesome.
I don't often watch action movies because I tend to prefer like a story. I prefer to... I don't know. I just haven't watched one in a while. Like, I do love action movies, just haven't watched one in a while. And I went in, I haven't seen any of the original Mad Maxes. I just know of it.
But this has been made by the original director.
Yeah, it's the original director and everything, and I loved it. Like, it was just so good from start to finish. Like, you're immediately in the action. A little bit slow in the middle, but it has to kind of do, it has to calm down at some point and explain things. And it was just awesome. And like, I did have to remind myself to switch my brain off. Like, it's an action film, just watch the action.
Every action movie, though.
Yeah. So like, I came out of it like, right, okay, I can turn my brain back on now. What the hell is going on? And I spent like a whole day like looking up things about the lore so I could figure it all out, because it was just like, the whole background story is interesting and it gives you lots of little hints as to like how things have got the way they are without like taking you out of the action. So it was just awesome. Yeah. And Charlize Theron's character is amazing, and like even just like the like Rosie Huntington Whiteley is in it as one of like the brides of the evil warlord and stuff, and even like their characters are really good. Like, I really like that they had women in it who weren't there just to be pretty. Like, they had like personalities and stuff, and that was awesome.
I'm bad with names. Who's that lady?
She's Jason Statham's girlfriend. She's also a model for like M&S, and
how would I know her?
she's on a lot of like Marks and Spencer's adverts for like their underwear line and stuff. But she also was in one of the Transformers movies. Like, I think whatever one Megan Fox didn't decide to be in anymore, but Shia LaBeouf was still in it.
Right,
she played like Shia LaBeouf's new girlfriend.
I don't think I saw that.
I'll look her up, but she's gorgeous, and like Zoe Kravitz is in it as well.
And who's that?
Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Okay.
Not Ted Kravitz's daughter.
See, don't go to F1. Monaco weekend.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing about Mad Max, having not seen it yet, is seeing the shots from when they actually made it. Like, there seems to be very little CGI in that film.
It's all visual.
Yeah.
It all seems to just like, oh look, we built this car with a flamethrower in it. Oh, and here's another 5 of them. And then this one has like a giant, like a wrecking ball or something.
It was, and one of them has like a full like speaker and amp set up on the front of it so that a guy can play guitar to rally the troops. Like, it's all good. Just it crazy.
Ludicrous in a great way.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
The original ones were like ridiculously over the top as well.
That lady looks like almost like Cameron Diaz, I think. Cheekbones and maybe a little bit pointy chin.
Yeah.
Nothing bad.
No, but
yeah, gorgeous.
You put any woman next to Charlize Theron, probably going to pale in comparison.
I can give you that.
Well, I don't know. In this film, Charlize Theron has no hair and one arm.
What's wrong with?
I don't know.
I'm just saying, like,
still, I bet she's still.
Oh, she's still amazing and gorgeous. But
Natalie Portman in V for Vendetta still looks like
absolutely
supermodel.
Shaved head's cool.
I think a shaved head is awesome. I'm just saying, like, these are like there's 4 beautiful models and someone like with no hair.
I didn't know she only had one arm because
in the movie,
you see her driving and shooting a gun.
She has like a bionic arm.
Oh, right.
It's really cool.
So there's 2 reasons why I know about this movie, or why I'm excited to see it. One was the practical special effects, like you say.
Yeah.
The second was the reaction.
Yeah.
From all the crazy men out there.
Yeah. So for those who don't know or might not believe us, there is such a thing as MRA or men's rights activists who feel. They feel victimised.
It's basically a group that don't understand what feminism means, so they created a group to counteract what they think feminism is.
That's exactly it, yeah.
Meninism.
Yeah. One of my favourite quotes there was I won't promote the website that wrote it because it's stupid, but one of the quotes that the guy who was ranting about this being like it had feminist undertones, and he said, Charlize Theron was barking orders at Mad Max. No one barks orders at Mad Max. And it's like, it sounds like you love him a little bit. Like, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
It's fascinating that people have got so used to the boring movie line of the hero comes up, he doesn't know much, he learns stuff, turns out he's really strong and he kicks ass.
Yeah.
What's wrong with... I don't know how much Mad Max does or how much he influences everything, because I know that they're very powerful women and he's almost embroiled up into this storyline, I believe.
I'd say they're very equal, but go on.
Right. Well, it's just funny that you can't take... What if you thought this movie was made by, I don't know, Jim Jarmusch or whatever?
The person who wrote the article was like, has this person ever even seen the first Mad Max movies?
Yeah,
he didn't know that it was the same director.
It came out before the film did. Like that criticism came out before the film.
But yeah, carry on.
Well, the way I'm thinking of it, I was walking home thinking this last night. But yeah, what if a random, any non-Hollywood in quotations director made them? You'd go into it with a different idea of what to expect. Why? Because it is still blockbuster and all that people expect ones. Well, evidently they're idiots, but that there has to be a certain formula for this. It's more refreshing that it's not that.
Exactly.
It blows my mind that you'd be, I want the same thing that we've already got.
If that formula was good, Steven Seagal would be much more popular.
Yeah, one of the main things I took from it is, yes, the film is called Mad Max, but I didn't feel like it was about him. Like, and people might think that's an unpopular thing to say, but I just it didn't take away from him. It didn't take away from the film, but I just feel like they didn't make it about this super
That's
guy.
my point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it can surround him, and it is about his world or his view of things or whatever. But it doesn't mean he has to be the topless hero.
I think an ensemble.
He will be the topless hero at some point.
Yeah, I
don't think he does take his top off.
Wow.
Is that you not going to bother me?
No, I'm done with it.
I think an ensemble cast is more interesting.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. The main thing of the story is basically they're wanting to save these women. I won't go too much into it, but it just becomes a really interesting dynamic between him and Charlize, and then him and the women, and Charlize and the women, and so it is just an ensemble, like you say, and it's nice what they all bring to it. And yeah, I liked that it wasn't just this man is amazing, he saves the day. It's more this man comes into a group that are already on their way and he just helps out. They were probably going to be good anyways, and he just contributes to it.
From the outset, it doesn't look like it's shy of testosterone anyway.
Yeah.
It looks like there's still plenty of explosions and...
But definitely go see it, it's amazing.
And on that topic, to quickly bend back to games, I forget if we talked about this in the last episode, it's been so long, but the trailer for this game...
For the Mad Max game?
Movie, yes, the Mad Max game, that looks incredible.
I don't know if it's actually related to the movie.
Doesn't matter. It's got the name on it.
I was talking to one of our friends about it, and he was saying that, in the Mad Max is a very iconic car, and I was surprised that in the movie they didn't make it I'm going to get my car back, which again was refreshing. It wasn't the stereotypical I love my car more than anything. But apparently that's kind of what the game is about. Like, he loses his car, and his mission is to get his car back,
basically.
basically.
Yeah, you start with nothing. You're resorting to...
In the original movie, it's like, it is as much a part of the movie as he is.
Yeah. So I'd probably be quite interested to play the game, but I don't know, because movie tie-in games can generally be quite crap.
Not a movie tie-in, though.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, so. I know, if you're using a license, like a movie license.
I think, I don't care about it being the tie-in or not. It's more about, I prefer if it wasn't almost, as you say, they're better when they're not. Just the fact that it was the driving around, the crazy Carmageddon-looking scenes of driving, then the...
Batman combat mechanics.
Batman combat, which is amazing, and then also just a quick hint of the Thunderdome, which, I mean, I'm just guessing here, but that's, multiplayer matches, like PvP area, what's better than the Thunderdome? That sings.
See, when I came out of the movie, I love post-apocalyptic type storylines, and I was like, I just want to continue playing Fallout now, because I started playing Fallout and got distracted for various reasons, which I'll talk about another time. But I'm like, I want to go and play it now, and imagine that I'm like Charlize Theron, and do that. But then Ian and Alice said that I should play Rage, which is kind of Mad Max the game, but I've heard very mixed things about Rage, so I don't know. I'd rather just play Fallout. I think
it's an id game, so it's made by the guys who make Doom.
Yeah. There was Doom news, but we can talk about that after E3 is done, I guess.
There is barely Doom news. That's the
they
sad
announced
thing about it.
an announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have ran well over, so thank you very much for everyone sticking with us.
Shit, it's really late.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So yeah, thank you very much for listening. If you would like to get in touch with us, maybe ask us some questions, we could have an email bag for the episodes. You can tweet at us at @SplittingPixPod. We are also on Facebook.com/SplittingPixelsPodcast, and you can email us at emailsplittingpixels@gmail.com. Until the next time, thank you very much for joining us, and we will speak to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.